So you said you have a flight tonight.
I do.
Where are you going?
We're going to New York City. We're playing in Brooklyn on Wednesday at Baby's Alright. It's the first show of the co-headline tour that I'm doing with Groupthink.
Is that your first tour or?
Nah, this is gonna be like my fourth, I think, tour. I did a tour with Zero, 936, and Fame on Fire in 2022, and then I went on tour with Sleeping with Sirens, and then I did Escape the Fate back in September.
I just saw right now that you were gonna release a new single tonight. Can you tell me a little bit more about it?
Yeah, so that's gonna be the first single off the album, or what is soon to be the album. It's been a pretty long process. We've been working on it for basically a year. We started the pre-production last April, and then we went in May and recorded the song that we're putting out tonight. So we've already had the song basically for a year, which is crazy. And then yeah, putting it out, I'm super stoked. I'm excited. I think it came out really good and I'm happy with it. And we shot the music video this past Tuesday, Monday, someday, I don't know, recently.
Right.
And that was fun. It was cool. We were just riding around Malibu and a bunch of really dope spots in LA. So that went really well. And yeah, I'm excited to put it out and have a new single, I think next month or the month after. No promises. I always say that and then it ends up being like 2-3 months or something.
This is gonna be your debut album, right?
Yeah, it's the first one. I've put out EPs and small projects in the past, but yeah, this will be the first full length.
So we're gonna do this thing that I'm gonna tell you my favorite songs of yours, and you either tell me the meaning behind it or the story related to it. Anything you want to share about this song, you tell me, okay? Cool. Demonstrate. That was like your first single, maybe?
So that was the first single that I guess started getting like attention. I've been making music at that point for maybe 8 months. I would put out like one song a month on SoundCloud, and I started in like October of 2017.
Is it true that you dropped your first single and then you quit your job right after?
Yeah, so I'd been in college. I was like 19. In school, and I just hated it. It wasn't working out for me. I was like, I don't really want to be here. I'm just gonna go home and figure my life out. And in the process, yeah, I linked up with like an old friend, and he was a producer and was like, yo, we should make some music. And I was like, yeah, like we'll fuck around. And I dropped it on SoundCloud, and I got like 1,000 views or something in like a day. And I was like, I had like 0 followers, so to me that was like, oh, this is cool.
Right. What you were studying in school?
I was studying plant science. So I'm into plants. I like to grow. I'm into like horticulture. And my original plan was to just make enough money and buy like some land. And
That's so funny though.
Yeah, it's super random. Most people would never guess, but
you still like doing that?
Yeah. I still grow. I've got a couple of grow tents in my house that I grow.
Oh, that's nice. The next song, My Temptations.
My Temptations, yeah.
Yeah, that's when you start changing your sound, right?
Yeah. So that was like the first song I had released with like real drums and real guitar. We had the song before that, Higher, it was like a trap rock kind of song, so there was guitars but it wasn't real drums or anything. So My Temptations was the first one like that, and I love that song. And I remember that song started getting like a lot of buzz on the internet too, on Instagram. People really fucked with that one. And then like I was signed to Capitol Records at the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they just kind of botched the whole thing, and it was just like really lame, and I was just like, yeah, that fucking sucks. It was supposed to come out, I don't really remember the full thing, but it was supposed to come out like a certain day in October, like early in October, and then I found out that it wasn't even like in the the back. I don't know. You can like see the song on your artist Spotify page, and it wasn't like uploaded yet or anything. It was being pushed by like 2-3 weeks. I was like, bro, what the hell? And so I ended up dropping on SoundCloud myself, and it started going like crazy. It had gone like 500,000 plays or something in like 3-4 days, and they ended up taking it down, and then it was just like this whole like thing. So that was whack. But yeah, that was the first one that was like that kind of sound, and yeah, I still like that song to this day.
What happened that made you change?
In what sense?
Because the styles. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I try to just evolve, I think, and I'm always changing like what I'm listening to, what I'm influenced by, and what I enjoy at the moment. Like I said, I was 20 when I started making music. I'm 27 next month, so it's been a long time. So, obviously I'm not going to be the same person or being just, if I were making the same thing, if I were still making music like Demonstrate today, I think I'd gone crazy, because it's like, that's just so many years of just making the same thing over and over again. So I think I'm always just trying to keep it fun and, new and exciting, but still keeping it the same at its core, it's still the same kind of music, I think it's still rock music. It just takes on different forms and different sounds for whatever, the season is this year,
Sick of Me. that you worked with Travis Barker, right?
Yeah.
And how was that? I read some things about you, and apparently you were a fan of him. And how was it for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone who does this kind of music is a fan of Blink 182. You know, everyone knows them, and they're legendary. So that was definitely super sick when I got the opportunity to be, you know, in the studio with Travis, and you know, I was working with John Feldman at his house, and he's also a crazy, you know, producer, and it was just so sick to be with him. And then he was like, yeah, you know, like, I think I'm gonna get Travis on the song. Like, you know, is it cool if he comes over? And I was like, bro, is it cool? I was like, fuck yeah, it's cool if he comes over. Like, get him over here, like right now. I got to see him throw down the drums in the studio, and he was a real cool dude, and yeah, it was a really cool experience.
Right. Have you worked with him more times?
No, I worked with him maybe like once or twice during that process, and then I wasn't living in LA at the time. That was back in like 2019, and so he had been hitting me up for a little bit after that, like, yo, let's get in, but I wasn't here. And so then by the time I moved out here, it was just like kind of like he was already like, you know, the Kardashian thing, and he was just kind of like on a new thing.
Where are you from?
Miami.
Okay, so when you went to college, that was in Miami.
That was in Gainesville, Florida. I went to UF, but yeah, in Florida.
All right, next song would be Summer, and that's my favorite so far.
Hell yeah, I love that song. Yeah, so that was also with John Feldman. Travis actually drummed on that whole like project. He's just credited on Sick of Me. Yeah, that was a really cool one. I remember that one came like really easily to me. You know, some songs you kind of have to work for and kind of like think a little bit harder on, and some songs just kind of like flow out of you, and that was definitely one of the ones that was like really easy to write, and was just kind of like a little bit more genuine, I think, and just, you know, came out and was fun. I was with, again, John Feldman in his studio, and yeah, that was a sick one. I like that one a lot too. You
write your own songs?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's different every time, but sometimes, you know, we got people in the room helping out, and it's always a collaborative effort to an extent. I've never produced or done any of that or mixed or anything. I've always been like the melody and lyric guy for sure. I'm pretty dependent when it comes to like the production side of things, but yeah, I mean, I've started learning how to play guitar over the last year, and I hope to one day play on stage and, you know, produce a little bit, but yeah, I'm mainly...
The next one on my list would be Mass, that is with Sleeping with Sirens, right? And you were a big fan of them.
Super big fan, yeah. I mean, I started listening to Sleeping with Sirens in 8th grade, I think, and I just became obsessed. Yeah, I looked up to Kellen big time. Kellen and Matty Mullins, both of those guys I was big fans of. Yeah, that was a really surreal moment, and it happened, you know, kind of easily. I just hit him up on Instagram. I followed him. He followed me back. I was just like, yo, like, I'm working on this EP, and I've got this song that I think you'd be sick on. Like, you know, we should work. And he was like, yeah, man, send it through. And then yeah, I sent it, and then we happened to be doing this little like festival in Dallas. It was something Christmas themed. I don't know.
I was thinking So What, but that's not it.
I've done So What a couple times, but no, it wasn't So What. This one was in like December. I forgot. It's on the tip of my tongue, but it'll come to me. But yeah, we were doing a festival together in Dallas, and it was right around the time that was all happening. So I got to meet him and say what's up, and just think it made the whole thing a little bit more genuine and cool, and we just got along really well. And then, you know, the tour happened a couple months after that, and yeah, it's a really cool time. And I look back, I'm like, damn, that's so fucking sick.
It is, because you were like a big fan of them. And this is something personal. If you don't want to respond, that's fine, but it's just something that I am personally very curious about you.
Cool.
I wanted to know about your experience with DMT. I saw an interview or I read somewhere that you took it and it changed your life. I never done it, but I'm very curious about it because I love like psychology and you know, everything.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to talk about it, it's fine.
Oh, it's all good. I haven't tripped on any psychedelics in a really long time. I don't do it anymore. But at the time, I feel like in high school I'd done it a lot, just being like a dumb kid. But I always respected the drugs and, you know, did it for the right reasons. I was 19 and in college, and I was around the same time just being like, you know, I don't want to do this anymore, and just kind of stuck because I was in a good school, and so it was kind of hard for me to be like, yo, I don't want to be here, and like I want to go home. And so I was just torn between, do I stay here or do I go home? And, you know, I just had a lot in my mind at the time, and I was just like, you know, maybe this will give me the answers I'm looking for. And my friend had some, and we did it, and yeah, it was quite easily the craziest trip I've ever had. And I don't think it wasn't like you know, I did it and then I was like, yeah, I've got all the answers. It was just kind of like I feel better on the inside. I'm just gonna see, you know, where life takes me. Like literally a month later, I made the first single that I ever made and put out on the internet, and started making music.
So you weren't a musician before
No,
that?
no. I mean, I always like sang. I was always like in drama, chorus, and all that. So I was always into it, and I did it all the time. But no, I was never. I always wanted to be in a band. Tried starting a band, and I had a couple friends I'd play with at poetry nights and do covers like Dance Gavin Dance.
Right. Would you join a band though?
Today? Yeah. I mean, today if I fucked with it or something, yeah. I mean, I'm definitely thinking about starting like a side project and doing something besides just Garzi, you know.
You probably heard that a lot, but where did Garzi come from?
So my last name is Garzone.
Okay. Just to end, I told you it was gonna be really quick. I'm gonna tell you or make questions or say whatever, and you have to say the first thing that comes to your mind.
Cool.
You cannot think of it
Okay.
too much. Okay. 3 artists you dream of going on tour with. It doesn't mean that you're playing together, but it's like, oh, I'm opening for Dan or I'm working with Dan.
Yeah, Movement, Citizen, Title Fight.
If you had the chance to see an artist, no matter how big or small they are, on Emo Nite.
Emo Nite.
Yeah, who would you pick? Because I saw you at Emo Nite at first
Okay.
time. I love
Cool.
your set though.
Say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
yeah, you gotta
okay.
come out in on the 24th at the Echo.
In LA?
Yeah, we're playing in at the Echo.
Oh, you're back at the Echo? They're back at the Echo?
Yeah, we're playing at the Echo.
Damn.
Yeah, on the 24th. Come out. See, shit, I don't know.
But it's not like that stage where they have the DJs. No, it's like
I have no idea, to be honest.
it has to be someone you like. Very intimate, very, oh my God, I'm here.
This is so hard. Super heaven. Fuck it.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you weren't a musician, what would you do?
If I were a magician? Musician. Play guitar.
No, that doesn't.
What do you mean?
No, if you weren't a musician.
Oh, if I weren't a musician.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be growing. Horticulture. I'd be growing plants, food, vegetables, microgreens. I'd be living off the farm.
All right, and just to end, leave a message to the world.
Come check me out on tour. Go listen to my new single. Let's
That's very
get it.
deep.
Yep. Hell yeah, baby. Come on.